Be strong.
Hello and welcome to another episode on the Trues Blues podcast. Today you join me and Kieran. Something a little bit different because Chelsea have just lost 5-2 to West Bromwich Albion. So we're not very prepared. We didn't want to do any preparation because we just needed some time to gather our thoughts because we're a bit angry, a bit upset. I'm just speechless really. What the plan is for today though, we are going to go through and rate the players out of 10, start from the keeper, go up from top. Before we go on to the players' performances, I just wanted to say, Kieran, it was quite funny how when Thiago Silva got sent off, I'm not disputing the yellow card at all. I thought it was a foul, fair enough. But before that, Timo Werner put in a cross, West Brom player late on him on the ankle, and it was just a goal kick. Oh no, it was a corner, wasn't it? Oh no, it was a goal kick or something. And so the ref just didn't give a penalty. I just don't get how you can give one but not the other.
Yeah, we were shit. Everything's shit today. I'm just not. But yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was a foul, but yeah, Thiago Silva's a fucking donut, man. I can't believe it. He's been sent off. Like, it's a game. I was like, oh, okay, field a game, do whatever, and he gets a yellow card. 5 minutes. I knew it was curtains from that for him. I knew he was going to get sent off. For some reason, I've just got
early doors, wasn't it?
5th minute, he got a yellow card. I was just like, he's getting sent off. He's always susceptible to just a dodgy challenge, and he gets 2 of them. He gets sent off. We're down to 10 then. But yeah, the ref was a bit pants today, but it doesn't excuse we didn't help ourselves.
Absolutely not. So I think we should just jump straight into it. So we'll start with keeper Edouard Mendy, who he didn't really do anything wrong, did he?
Not much protection. You can only stop the ball going in at a certain amount of times. He had a lot to do, and he let in 5, but they shouldn't have had those opportunities.
Exactly.
They shouldn't have been in those positions. When we're keeping clean sheets against Suarez and Mo Salah and Mane and like people like that, and Callum Robinson, who by the way is crap. As like an Ireland international football fan, he is dreadful. So I don't know where he got 2 goals from.
Well, he scored 5 Premier League goals,
all
of which
I think he has at least.
So
he's just the Irish version of David McGoldrick. They just score against us, and that's it. It's not really ideal because we were embarrassed today. But yeah, Mendy, I'd say 6, 7.
Yeah,
maybe.
I was going to say 6. Just
could have done a bit better.
It's just the average one, isn't it? Really, a 6. A 6 is just like, for me, like that's your average, and that's kind of what it was. It's a bit concerning. I did some proper badgering earlier, and I worked out that 30% of West Brom's goals this year have come against Chelsea. Like they've only scored like 26, and they've scored 8 of them against us. 3-3 at the Hawthorns, and like 5-2 here.
The 3-3 game, like I didn't think it could get any worse than the 3-3 game, and it actually got worse. Like, I was gobsmacked. Like I said when I texted you, I couldn't believe it. I'm turning the game off. I like. It's not even that I had it turned off. I just had it turned the whole way down. Like the commentators were doing my nut in. I was like, not even looking at the TV. I was just looking at like my niece and nephew. I was like, I'm gonna knock one of you out if you make a comment about football. And then my niece decided that she's going to be like, oh, it's not that important. What do you mean it's not important? Do you know what isn't important? Dolls. Do you know what will be important? Me, house. I can't. We'll get onto the player ratings. I can't even get over how angry I am.
Reece James, I think I'm going to. He started off first 30 minutes promising. He was probably one of the better ones out of a bad bunch. But then for the second goal, I genuinely think he was thinking he was on the beaches in Brazil playing some samba sort of football, where he tries to flick the ball up over a defender, gives it to Jorginho, who's a liability defensively at the best of times. Then, he does a header, which, oh my God, just come on to Jorginho in a minute. But I mean, why can't he just hoof it? Why is he trying to flick it over defender, like playing on the samba sort of beaches in Brazil, bruv? Like, he's just got that in him. He's just got that in him, that sort of mistake. He can be so good, and then he just does that.
Reece is just like, I love him at the best of times. I really do. Like him and Cal and Mason. Like, I love all of those young English boys for Chelsea. Like the ones that actually broke through. We haven't had homegrown, our own players in the team since like even Lampard wasn't ours. Terry, like we get them all from other clubs. Like they're actually Chelsea through and through. And I hate criticizing Reece James, but mate, he was awful. He started the game all right. He looked bright. He's a liability defensively. I think he doesn't suit the wing back role as well as the people we have on the left side do. I think he's like a flat back fullback. I thought, for that goal, mate, what is he doing?
Mate, that was literally just before half time as well. So that was 47th minute, because there's 5 minutes added on. And so West Brom going 2-1 up. And we're down to 10 men.
Yeah, and then it just makes it an uphill climb. And I just find his positioning lacks a little bit. Reece James, I think he's class, but it just lacked, and it really showed today. He was just out of position. Like counter-attacks were so easy for them because people like Reece James weren't in position. He wasn't ready for it. Like, you really need to click in when you're missing a man on the pitch. Obviously, Ziyech got taken off to bring Christensen on to solidify the back. But when you're missing a player like that, it's not your responsibility to bomb forward. It's your responsibility to cover the holes that will be in the midfield with a lack of a player. And I thought he let the team down with his position and stuff. I would say he was directly at fault for more than one of the goals, but he certainly didn't help. He didn't help the team with anything. Really. So I'd say probably I'd be harsh 5.
Yeah. I was going to go across the back sort of 5, whatever, but there's a lot of similarities in that with Marcos Alonso, so I'm going to jump across to the other wing to him, and I'm actually just going to throw it out there. I think I'm going to give him a 2. He wasn't good for me today. He was sort of giving me serious throwback vibes to West Ham away last year, where he couldn't be bothered to track back. He was just woeful. Him and Zuma on that side, oh my God. They were just, man, I just can't even explain how bad they were. 2. I can't give him anything better. I don't think he did anything which really stood out, and maybe put in one good cross for the goal or a potential chance. Yeah, I think he crossed it to Timo, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then Timo, he should have buried it, but I think obviously his confidence is drained. So, got the goal in the end, so that bit doesn't matter. But he just doesn't care defensively, Marcos Alonso, and he's a flipping liability.
Yeah, he really showed me today why I didn't want him in the side in the first place when Tuchel come in. I was like, what is this donkey doing? Like, why is he in the squad? And then it gets to the point where it's it's too much. You can't, he can't defend. It's not that he doesn't, he actually can't. He's incapable of defending. He's not any good with positioning. He doesn't track. He's a big physical guy. He can overwhelm people on the wing. Even if he can't put a good tackle in a way, they can overwhelm people on the wing. He doesn't. He was crap today. He didn't care. He never seems to care, really. The only time he cares is when he's in the other team's box. You were bought as a left back, left wing back. Most of your job's defensive duties. Don't worry about their box if you can't do anything in your own. So I'd have to agree with you, mate. I'd say a 3. I think there's only one player who gets a 2 or worse for me today.
Yeah, we'll get on to him in a minute.
As much
if it's who I think it is, but
Who you think it is? I've got a lot to say about this bloke, but like, there's like a separate category for him.
Yeah, mate. But mate, I also thought Kurt Zuma was also. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna have to give him a 2 as well, mate. I mean, Zuma's actually probably quite fortunate to get a 2. Actually, something I forgot to mention at the start. I was going to say the sort of Tommy T's tactics were a bit resting one player, Mount for Wednesday. Fair enough, completely get that. But resting Rudiger, Christensen, I know he wanted to give Thiago Silva some game time. Fair enough. Whatnot, playing, some other. Kante is obviously already missing. That's 4 sort of first teamers missing. It just seemed really complacent, really sort of a bit arrogant and a bit naive, really, against West Brom side who turned up and took the game to us. And we missed Rudiger on that left centre back side, and that's why Kurt Zoom was getting a 2, because he just showed why those tactics were just a bit naive, really. He's just a donkey. There's no other way to put it. He is a donkey. He just doesn't see danger until the danger has already happened and it's too late. Southampton, that's exactly what he did, and he did the same today for maybe their third. No, I don't think it was even when they scored. I think it was when Pereira should have had a hat trick, but he hit it straight at Mendy. But he's just a donkey.
Yeah, I've never been set on him ever. But I've never ever had the confidence that he would do anything productive. He would be useful, but like today, I wouldn't necessarily go as low as a 2. I reckon I'd be like a 4, a 3 or a 4, 3.5, something like that.
You do have to remember he did miss an absolute sitter, which probably would that have made it 4-3. Yeah. I mean, that chance was harder to miss than it was to score. Don't care how much of a donkey feet you got.
Yeah, like we've said before, though, the amount of times we spoke about Zuma, it's not that he's got 2 left feet; it's like he's got no feet. like I'm not being funny. Like Oscar Pistorius would have a better chance at banging the ball into the top corner. Harsh, I know people get used to it, go over it, whatever. But like he was absolutely fucking abysmal. His positioning was so good at the start of the season. Like he was commanding, he was good. He pushed the line up, played a wonderful offside trap early on against oh Christ, who was it? I think it was Leeds. Like he played an unreal offside trap that whole game. Like Bamford isn't like a renowned speedster, but every time he like tried to like peel off and get behind, bang, Zuma was out to it. But today he had nothing about him. He didn't look like he knew how to play football. In all honesty, he looked like he woke up this morning and he's obviously banged his head last night and completely forgot how to play football. And it, like you said, being out on that side with Alonso just exposed the shittest part of our team all in one place. Yeah. It's like, let's just all go down the right wing, because they've not only got one useless prick out there, they've got 2 of them, and they're stood next to each other, just scratching their heads, wondering why the ball's in the back of the net again. And I can't even cope with how just useless he is. But I had a lot of faith in him, and from corners, different gravy, like world class from corners. But a corner comes into our box, he's shit. The ball goes behind him, crap. He gets squared up one-on-one with a player. He's massive. He could easily put a decent tackle in, shove people off the ball. Nothing. Yeah. There is absolutely nothing there for him. There is no attribute where you think, yeah, do you know what? He actually deserves a place in the team. Yeah. He just got he got carried by Thiago Silva.
Yeah, you said that before, mate.
Lamps was there. Yeah, he got carried by him. He's crap.
So when you have 2, like Kovacic usually is quite good, but he was poor today. Your Jorginho, absolute liability central in front, and Marcus Alonso next to him. That's just that's a car crash waiting to happen, mate. It really is.
Yeah. It's just like we may as well have just put a 5-a-side team out and just play them all. It's like that that like image they show of England where like their whole team is just right backs. It's just like a list of like the team lineup for depth, and it's just all right backs and nothing else. Like we may as well have just done that. What was the point?
He also
Yeah.
bottled a tackle in one of Thiago Silva's fouls. So basically, if he won that, I think he kicked the ball onto the player's shin. So the West Brom player still managed to keep the ball. And then Thiago Silva took him out. If he had just taken him out, or not taken him out, but if he just won the ball, there's not a booking there. So yeah, I think moving on now to Thiago Silva, I am going to give him. I'm probably actually. What would you give him, Kieran?
Probably like a 3 or 4. Just purely based on he played half an hour. He was both times. So like I look at some tackles he makes, and I get he's a world-class defender. He really is. Like I really do get that, and I do believe that, and I do think he is the best defender we've had since JT. But I can't trust him 100% of the time. I don't know about you, but I can't. He just seems to make rash tackles, and he's been guilty of that for Brazil before. So, like a 3, there's not really anything to say for him. He's a dickhead for getting sent off.
He was properly thrown under the bus, though. Like for both those fouls, like the ball was given away far too cheaply before. Jorginho, he owes him a beer basically because he got him sent off twice in my eyes. But we'll get onto that in a minute. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I wonder if it's because he just can't seem to string games together because he's getting old and he's sort of been injured a couple of times or whatnot. I wonder if that's why. Yeah, I think probably 4 is probably fair. I would say for him. And we'll go on to the main man now. Probably, I'm not even going to lie. That could be the worst Chelsea performance I've ever seen someone produce. He was fortunate. Apparently, there's rumours going around that Christian Pulisic was injured. That's why he went off at half time. Otherwise, I think Jorginho, he was lucky to stay on for as long as he did. I'm actually going to give him a 0. I actually am because he was awful. I usually quite like the bloke. I usually think he sets the tempo, detects the game well. But oh my good lord, he was just a different grade of awful. If there was probably minus numbers, he would have got one of them. But I know you don't like him. So what are your thoughts?
I start. I've sold a dream. A month of convincing. You talking to me, all the stuff on Twitter, all the stuff on Instagram. Oh no, Jorginho's a good player. He's solid. He's all right. He does a good job for Chelsea. He was unreal against Atletico Madrid. Things like that. And then this prick comes and puts a performance in like that today and just reminds me exactly why I fucking hate him. I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. I can't believe I was sold a dream that badly. I can't believe I let myself, this is like a breakup. I can't believe it. He lied to me. He did. He lied to me the whole month of March. The whole month. He was so good. And then we play literally the shittest team we have played. The shittest team we have played since probably Christmas. They are crap. They for me were like when I did the thing where you predict the table, bottom of the league. Every year they're in the Premier League. I'm like, they're going to go down again.
Yeah, mate.
I can't believe how crap he was. No good passes. He can't defend. He's still got that in the locker, obviously. And credit where credit's due, he has arguably been our best player since Tuchel took over. He is performance-wise, but today he was fucking woeful. I could not believe it. I just no words for how bad a performance is. How we've gone from 1 week, not even towards how good one of our other midfielders is in Kante, where we were lost for words of how majestic a performance is. He put in to this today. There was nothing good about his game. Every pass. Too hard, too soft, wrong player, wrong time, too many touches, not enough touches. Everything he tried to change and do right in the game, he did wrong. Yeah. I wouldn't even fuck the scale. I give him a -10. -10. He was dreadful. If we're
He
going by
was
scale,
that
he's a
bad.
0. He's
He was
awful.
that man.
I lost it. Like, I just lost it looking at him. I was just staring at the TV like, this can't be real. Like, I'm asleep. I had a few too many beers the night before, and I've just passed out, and I'm having an awful nightmare because this isn't happening. And he is the center of our team. We're a man down, and he just got worse. Like, I didn't think after the first, before that spell where we conceded the 2, the actual first 45, I was like, Jesus Christ, he's having a stinker today. It can't get any worse than this. And then it did. And then it did, Johnny. It literally got worse. Like, I have no idea how.
Mate, I'll tell you how. He realised that he had West Brom in his acca, tenfold acca, and he needed some quick cash. Obviously, to God knows why, because he's on flipping mega bucks. But that's the only reason I can do, because he single-handedly, he pretty much got Thiago Silva sent off in my eyes, and it just killed the game. And then when you have to, we're already playing with 10 men with him on the pitch and doing those flipping donkey passes, and then we're playing with 9 against a West Brom team playing like prime 2011 Barcelona. I just don't get what you can do, really. It was just words can't even describe how awful it was. Honestly.
In the spirit of us being good Catholic boys and the celebration of the life of Jesus Christ, our Savior, do you know who he is? Judas. He tricked all of us. He is Judas. He tricked us. He sat at the table and had dinner with us and then sold us a dream. Sold us off to the Romans. I can't believe it. It's poetic, really, isn't it? Easter's coming up and Judas turns up in a Chelsea shirt. What an absolute wanker. Like, I can't believe it. You're right. He got Thiago Silva sent off.
Mate,
so now he's got no match fitness, and now he's got to miss another game because he got sent off.
Yeah, mate, it's concerning because N'Golo Kante, unfortunately, is injured. That now he's going to definitely have to play against Porto, which hopefully got all of his mistakes out of the locker today. Because I mean, God, I don't even want to think of what if like we played like that against Porto. I really don't.
I can't even begin to put together how terrified I am for the shithouse performance today to even be partially replicated against Porto, because they'll tear us apart. But you know what will happen? It'll happen. It'll come to a crunch time, and Jorginho will have a worldie, and we'll forget about it again. We'll forget he's lying to us again.
Yeah,
that's what I did. It's like a cheat. It's like a cheating spouse. Took him back. No, you'll never do it again. You can change. You can change. People don't change. Jorginho doesn't change. He's the same shithouse he's always been.
Yeah,
that's what it is, mate.
A leopard never changes its spots.
Yeah, so that's the saying, mate. That's what it is. I'm convinced he went off for the international break, and the actual Jorginho come back. Like his twin brother or something must have been playing for Chelsea for like a month while they were away. Like when they went over for the first game against Atletico, It was his brother just met him there, shirt on, put the boots on, played the game. Then the international break, he's a bit knackered. The real Jorginho comes back. I can't even sense of how he can go from that good to that shit in a week. Like, how?
I can't either. Like I said, the worst individual Chelsea performance I've ever seen. Can you think of one worse than that? I genuinely can't. I heard on another one that Bakayoko versus Watford a few years ago, but I can't remember that. But
like I want to say like 08 or 09, and John Levy McHale against Bolton. It was dreadful. like there was a situation in the box, which this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, where he's gone to clear it and literally he's just booted it into it. Like he's trying to clear it with his left foot, he's booted it into his right foot, and the ball's just stopped dead. That was woeful, but yeah, I can't think of many worse than that. But yeah, Bakayoko had a lot of them, hence why we shipped him out within a year of getting him.
Yeah.
But
I think it was time to move. We've spent enough time talking about that buffoon. Kovacic next. Before he was pretty poor until the 70th minute, and the 70th minute he decided to turn up when it was too late and we're 4-2 down. For that reason, because he was the only one who, or one of the only two people, I'm going to say, who made us look like something was going to happen, I'm going to give him 4.5. What about you?
I think it was like bang average from just hit it in the middle, bang out. Like he'd make something happen, but he was just shit. Like he didn't look impactful. Like you said, until the 70th minute. The whole first half, I was like, is he going to do anything? No, he was just running around, and then even then, he was like jogging. He wasn't like sprinting, like doing a Kante. You chase him down like a dog off the lead, just bang, 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 hitting everybody, getting to the ball. He was just like, okay, just letting the game come to him. That's when he's at his worst, when he lets the game come to him. He needs to grab it by the balls and do something with it. But when he gets lazy and lets the game come to him, that's when he gets exposed, and that's where his weaknesses show. And I think that might have been something that Madrid saw, maybe. Not to be too harsh on him, but that's maybe why the reason they let him go, because he doesn't have the desire to take the game by the balls.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like we were looking for him to create something when he's not that type of player. I don't know. For me, that's what I think he needs to add to his game. He's still only 26, so hopefully he can add that when he gets sort of maybe in a year or two. But yeah, by his top standards, he's our player of the year last year. He was pretty poor today. And when he's poor, the rest of the team's going to be poor, really.
Yeah, I know. He didn't have a Kante to bail him out. He had a fucking. Exactly. There's not even words for how to describe how useless that Italian prick was. I don't even want to say his name. It feels like I'm saying the worst possible word in the world. Just saying his name. Yeah, I'd rather say Voldemort than say that fella's name. But yeah, he was poor. He just, like you said, he needs to add it to his game. But it's getting he's only 26, but it's getting a bit late now. Like you played for Madrid, you played for Chelsea. Like you need to be versatile. Look at the players he played with at Madrid, who can do a bit of everything. Toni Kroos and Luka Modric are two of the best mentors in world football right now. Toni Kroos had the best mentors. Like you think about the people at Bayern that were there with him, like all the great midfielders that were there. Bastian Schweinsteiger being there to teach him just everything, discipline, versatility, and like Kovacic just like did he not speak to him about how to develop his game? He was young when he was there. We've had him 4 years.
Yeah, it's 2 or 3. I think.
Yeah. He's got plenty of time. He's had plenty of time to add different parts to his game. He literally had one of the best midfielders of all time as his coach. Surely you'd ask Tip to learn a little bit more, force it into your game. He's just he seems to be faulted by his best quality, which is he's just kind of decent at everything.
Yeah,
there's no one part of his game where you're like, I can rely on him to be a ball winner or to be the engine room or make something happen out of nowhere or like turn on a dime and go bang, he's away, he's creating something, or play a 40-yard pass in behind defenders. Like he doesn't have any of that, and there's nothing where I'm like, oh yeah, he'd thrive in a game like this. I'm like, he'd thrive if 10 other things go his way. Like he will look unreal if everything supports him to do bits instead of
him taking the game by the scruff of the neck. Really, can't forget obviously that he was magnificent against Atletico Madrid. But you just back in the day when we used to have a midfield of Lamps, Ballack, Essien, they would do it every game. Which we're just lacking that consistency at the moment, and we have done for a few years now. And yeah, I think today just shows actually how deep the problem. Like, I'm not talking about Kovacic, but just the team in general. How deep the problem is, and like how Tommy T did actually do such a good job in sort of papering over some of the cracks, because to keep 7 clean sheets or whatever, and only concede 2 goals so far is just pretty incredible. And then, see today what the team's really sort of capable of a little bit. But I think the next player we should talk about probably Ziyech, just because get him out of the way. Didn't do much. I'll probably give him a 6 just because he didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, every time he got the ball, you looked like he could do something with it. You're like, oh, what's he going to do here? What's he going to do there? And then he got taken off after 35 minutes. So probably a 6 for him.
I'd be a bit harsh. I'd give him a 5.
Okay.
Like, he looked like he'd do something, but again, he didn't go out the game the way he has recently. Like, he's obviously bagged a couple of goals recently, and like just like being aggressive straight away. I think he was a bit more just neutral, like, with the game. And obviously, somebody had to go when Christensen had to come on in place of Thiago Silva. So it made sense for him. I wouldn't have took Timo off. And
Timo or Pulisic could have caught them on the counter with those two, couldn't we? Ziyech, he just would have done a bit of a nothing role, really, in my opinion.
Around and like maybe created, but we needed to use pace really to exploit him. And Pulisic had scored, so I'm not being funny. He's not coming off. You score a game and you get taken off for somebody who's replacing a sending off. I'd be fuming. I wouldn't go out of work. I wouldn't do it. No way. So Pulisic was never coming off. I think Werner is like project. Like he plays him so often, even when he's not in good form. I think because he just wants that spark to happen, and like he's just gonna like force it. Like he's gonna play him till it happens. He's not gonna bench him and like give someone else a shot. Like he'll fail until he succeeds with that, I think. But yeah, the 5 didn't do anything. Couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, I thought moving on to Pulisic, you just briefly mentioned him now. I thought he started quite sharply first 15 minutes. And then I don't know if that's when he picked up the injury or whatever happened. But after that, he just was non-existent, really. I'd probably give him a 5 as well. Yeah, he just looked like he struggled after like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, a 5 or a 6. Like, you just got to take into consideration the goal, really.
Yeah, that was actually really good play from him to sort of anticipate that, the movement, sort of curve his run, get in there. That was really good play from him, to be fair. I just hope, that's his 3rd injury now since he's been with us. I just hope it's not going to be a recurring thing.
We'll go for another Joe Cole situation where they've got so much to offer and they can't, purely based on just the level available. And at his age as well, you shouldn't be. Yeah, I'd agree. Probably like 5. Like, yeah, like I said, take consideration the goal. Obviously, he picked up a knock and he wasn't great afterwards. But yeah, he was fine. Obviously, we spoke a lot about him in the last full episode we did about like what's his place in the team, like what is the point of him being like in the squad and whatever. And like he sort of showed a bit of it today that he has got he makes good runs. He has got that in his locker. He has got something else to offer in a front 3 to our team. Like he offers way different stuff to Mount or Ziyech or Havertz, Werner, Giroud, Tammy. Like he really does have something different. I think Cal is the only player who would play up there that would play like a similar direct run at the defenders, chance creation kind of thing. Timo kind of plays that, but like he would be more of a poacher if he had the confidence, I think. But yeah, he was good. I think he's trying to cement his place in the team. Obviously, Tuchel's got a lot of time for him. Was coach over at Dortmund. Yeah, there's no player really that will get anything high because no one really did anything. We got beat by a historically crap team in West Brom, but it's just nice to see for Pulisic for his own personal gain, grab a goal, but then grab another injury. So all the confidence that come with the goal probably was wiped out by not being able to finish the game.
Yeah. Timo Werner.
He's pretty good. Got an assist, obviously, where he probably should have scored. Did a bit. He just struggled. Like, he struggled so much because we were on after the 2 goals in added time of the first half. We just were on the back for the whole time. Like, that 5-minute spell of the added time at the end of the first half was literally some of the worst football I've ever seen played in my life. I genuinely think 3 minutes of that is the worst 3 minutes of my entire life. I couldn't make sense of it. Like, they're hitting the bar, they're just all over us.
Yeah,
I've never seen us be dominated like that in the Premier League. The only time I've ever seen us be bullied like that is Bayern in the Champions League last year. That's the only time I've ever seen us get bullied by a team. Like, we've had teams beat us convincingly, and they've had great players, but getting bullied for 3 minutes, it was like when the kids in year 11 take the year 7's football at school. That's literally what we look like. We look like the year 7's running around trying to get our ball back.
It's the lack of experience, really, isn't it? In my opinion, like those players just haven't been there before or done that. So, it's still sort of a learning process for them. You really sort of look at your experienced players to stand up and sort of help when the going gets tough. And Jorginho, donkey. Thiago Silva was back in the shout, having a shouter. I don't even know. We might have even forgotten to speak about Dave, but he didn't do much today. Probably he gets a 5 just because he didn't do anything bad, didn't do anything good. So, it's a tough one, really. I'd probably say Timo worked quite hard. I'd probably give him a 5. Set up the goal. Felt a bit sorry for him. He was just isolated the whole time, really, wasn't he? Yeah. Still going and waiting for something to happen. But yeah, I'm the same with you. Just getting there quick. Dave, 5. Timo, obviously, I'm a bit more considerate with 6 for them. It doesn't really matter. It's not like the difference between a 5 and a 6 is irrelevant. A 9 and a 10 is where it matters. He was isolated. To his credit, like you said, he does work his socks off. To be fair, he does. He's not a sulker, which is good. I really thought he would be. I thought if things don't go his way when he came over, that he would just whinge about it, and then we'd have another player in our team sit and moan and cry about not ever getting the opportunity to do anything. So they just whinge about it rather than change it. But he's been good in that regard. But so overall, it's woeful. Yeah, we've got substitutes now, which was Mason Mount, Andreas Christensen, and was there someone else, or was that it? Oh, Havertz. Yeah. Havertz came on, but he didn't really do much. I'd probably go Christensen. I didn't think he was that bad, but we conceded 5 goals. I mean, 3 of them, not 5 when he was on, but 3 of them when he was on. I'm pretty sure. Or was it 4? Either way, I don't know. Do you know?
When he came on, we conceded after Christensen came on, we conceded all of our goals because he came on after Thiago Silva being sent off, didn't they?
Of course. So we did concede 5 actually. Then, yeah. So he can't get anything more than a 4 for me. I don't know if 4's. I don't know. I don't know of him, to be honest. What's your thoughts?
I would say probably a 3 or 4. I think. Just he wasn't who he has been. Same as Jorginho, well, not to the same extent as that useless wanker. But he just he wasn't very good. He didn't do anything. I was surprised he did. I was like you said, you spoke about the changes to the side. I was very surprised he didn't start. It might have made a difference, but coming on 60 minutes of chasing the game, and they came at us, and I think that's where Christensen really gets exposed, is where he is put under a lot of pressure. Because if you look back to what we used to talk about ages ago when we first signed him, was he's so good on the ball, and then teams started to pick apart the faults in his game where you pressure him when he's on the ball and he shits himself, which then breaks down our chance of pressing forward with the midfield, especially with Jorginho not facilitating anything. it was sort of putting Christensen's hands to move the ball from the back all the way up to like Werner and Pulisic up top. The pressure was on him, and I think he just sort of flaked today. He obviously didn't get any support, and he was in a bad situation the whole time. I think he could have done more to help lead the team and organise the back, particularly for Pereira's second goal. Like it was a good goal, but like we just seemed so disorganised, and he's been the mainstay in the squad. Like he's played pretty much every game. He should have been the one after Thiago Silva went off to sort of organise the particularly the three at the back, the three centre halves. I know Dave's our captain, and that should really be Dave's job, but he's out of touch with like the way we are playing because he's not really played. He's getting on a bit in age now. Obviously, he's played a lot recently, but it should have been down to
right. To be fair to him, I think Dave's done all right. I think he's sort of stepped up a bit. I think he's got that. I think he could do that role for a couple of years left in him. I think he could do that centre back role. Doesn't really get exposed too often. Maybe he needs someone a little bit more solid next to him, just in case he does. He can read the game a bit better than Christensen. I don't know.
Yeah. Just sort of what you hope for with Christensen. He's still fairly young, still a young player that we like hope to do more for us in the future. But he needs to be a leader now because we don't have any going forward in our squad right now. We lose Thiago Silva, we lose Dave. Like,
yeah, if those two get injured, we could be in trouble.
Yeah, we lose Kante. Like who takes that team by the scruff of the neck and organises it like at the back? Like who does it really? And nobody. There's not really anybody you can think of. Like Ben Chilwell, no, he doesn't play enough. Like
he's also a bit young, isn't he?
Yeah, Reece James, way too young. Not like never ever showed a sign of being a good leader so far. I like the idea of Mason Mount being a leader, but he's too far away from that part of the pitch, which is where we do struggle and do get exposed and do get caught for being disorganized at the back. Like goalies, like that's part of their job anyway. So making them captain won't really change what they have to do. I'm a firm believer a goalkeeper should never be the captain of a team. He can't see everything going on in the game and can't impact it from standing between the posts. So like we don't have.
Yeah, but they can read. They can watch the whole game, can't they? Though they can watch the whole game. They can see it all happening. I know it's a bit hard when they're so far away, but you know some of the sort of good captains like CS led Spain to a World Cup and whatnot. Buffon's done bits for Juventus. Who's the other one I was just about to say? Neuer. I think he's captained Bayern Munich. Well, he certainly captained them to the treble last year.
Yeah, I get it. They can watch the game or whatever. They can also watch the ball fly into the net because they're telling the team to just sit deep and avoid pace, and someone rockets it into the top corner. I just feel like they're too far away from like the midfield to.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, whatever. But like our keeper situation is like it's one that doesn't really make sense, does it? Like Kepa is there and is the money player, so like we've got to play him some way or we've got to get rid of him. And Mendy's come in and done a superb job, but like they're already on about us getting Donnarumma from Milan. Like apparently we're interested in him. We're still looking at Oblak for 110 million. Like,
yeah,
goalkeepers nowadays, especially, I think why captaincy for them would be a bad idea is purely because they change so often now. In comparison, like goalies get dropped far more frequently than they used to. Like if things have changed now to be what they used to be, think of like keepers like David Seaman. Like how many times would he have been dropped for mistakes in his prime, but he was just kept in the England side because he was the England keeper or he was the Arsenal keeper. Like you look at it now, like the goalie's changed too much. But we just went massively off topic there. But it's Christensen just he's lax.
Yeah, what about? I think it'd be a bit unfair to comment on Havertz's performance. Can't really sort of rate that. He was only on for 5-10 minutes, I think. So sort of ignore him. What about Mason Mount? He sort of came on, started to it looked like we were going to do something with him, but I think by that point it was too late, wasn't it? Bit concerning when he is the only one who seems to can create anything or want to create anything. Probably, I can't remember what my highest rating's been. It's probably be a 5. And there's been a 6 in it, Mendy. I'll probably give him a 6 as well, just because he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. He got a goal, obviously,
Course,
late
yeah.
on. Didn't mean anything, but yeah, 6. He was good. He always looks good, looks creative. We could have probably done with starting him a bit. He would have had to come off more than likely, or Pulisic would have had to come off when Thiago Silva was sent off. Yeah, he just can't really do a lot of anything. He had to fill in for an extra player when he came on, being down to 10, and like he most of the time does do 2 people's jobs going forward. But today it was like we had to claw the game back. It wasn't like we could freelance, just do whatever and let him do whatever he needs to do to take the game over. And it's just a bit late. Yeah, like you said with Havertz, like I think it's like 15 minutes he played. Like he come on right after Mount scored, and it seems like 5 because the game just like, over for me. Like 60 minutes in, I was just like, whatever. Yeah. It was done.
So moving ahead to probably the Porto game, from celebrating getting Porto as probably the easiest team in the competition left, then getting Liverpool, Real Madrid, probably the 2 teams sort of not at their best. It's suddenly a bit concerning that we might not even get past Porto, and we're almost not going in as underdogs, but it's certainly a more even playing field now. And without N'Golo Kante, which is a huge blow. It's going to be a very interesting tie. Yeah. To
reiterate something I'm pretty sure I said on the last one, by the way, fuck international football. It's pointless. It's like nobody cares about winning the World Cup anymore. Like no one gives a shit. That doesn't define how good a player is. And that's not just because I watch Ireland and we barely even make it to the World Cup, let alone get our hopes up. Like we were just losing a playoff against like Denmark or Austria again, or Luxembourg. That was a great one.
Yeah, Luxembourg.
Injured. That's worrying because of international football. Like get over it. You won the World Cup. It's over now. You're done. You don't need to do anything else. Like
for me, because France won it, they should just automatically qualify for the next one. I know 4 years is a long time, but why should they have to say? Imagine if he had done that against San Marino, like England were playing. He would have got injured qualifying for the World Cup, which is just one against San Marino. Although he didn't, I think it was Denmark, but it's still not great, and it's a bit frustrating.
Yeah, but factors of like what will affect how we play against Porto. Like international football has affected it with players out injured, and like I get the schedule's hectic. Like if anything, keep the World Cup. Yeah, it's got the history, blah blah blah. They need to get rid of the Euros. They're pointless. No one cares about the Euros. Like the Euros are coming up this year. I couldn't care any less. I won't watch it more. Like I won't go out of my way to watch it. If I'm down the pub and it's on, I'll watch it. If I got a bit of time after work and it's on the telly, I won't sit down and focus on it. Like the way I watch club football compared to international football, regardless of who I'm following, is just so different. Like when I was younger, it was great. Yeah, rake of games over like a month, and you can do whatever. You can watch football. Like the 2010 World Cup, I watched almost every game. Like,
yeah, I think
wasn't at school. Like,
I think for me, it's just because it's just the standard of international football has just dropped dramatically at the moment. Was it the 2010 World Cup? Which Spain now, or was it the one afterwards? But either way, you had teams like Germany and Spain who are always up there. France are always up there. Like now, for me, this Euros, the only team who, like dead on, like there's just no one else can beat them. It's France. Like I know they drew in their qualifiers, but they're by far the best team. Germans are struggling, losing to North Macedonia. Look at the Spanish team. They're nowhere near the side they once were. Italians the same. It's just, do you know what I mean? But I suppose it's a story for another time. But yeah,
too many too many games. Sorry, it's just too many games. Like Kante's out, but just like wrap up like what are the ideas on the Porto game. Not that we're necessarily now underdogs or like level playing field. I think everybody sort of looked at us as we could go the whole way again, like we did in 2012, and win it. But they're not backing us to like we won't go into a game against Porto regardless, saying Chelsea are going to batter them. Like PSG even against Barca, they were like Barca are awful right now. PSG should batter them. Like people aren't even saying about us. Porto. I'm worried, but then I know in like heart of hearts that we play different in the Champions League. We always do. Like only really last year have we put a really awful showing out in recent memory when we get eliminated from the Champions League. Like we have a different mindset with it. Just like the whole club, like no matter players, anything, there's always somebody from a previous squad that has that Champions League like love for the Champions League in them. So I'm worried based on today because I was begging for Jorginho to come back for this game. Like once his suspension was up, I was like, I can't wait. He's gonna be sick again, and he was himself today.
Maybe it's just
again.
a kick at the backside we need. Just not just for today, for the rest of the season. If results don't go our way, I mean, Leicester have Man City for starters. If they lose that, if we won today, we would have been 2 points behind them. But we're not. We're still 5. If West Ham win, they go above us into 4th. And if Spurs win, they'll go above us on goal difference. So we'll be down into 6th. So maybe we might have to win the Champions League to qualify for the Champions League next year. Who knows? But what do you reckon your score prediction? What do you reckon for the first leg in Seville on Wednesday night, Kieran? What's your score prediction? 1-1. Yeah, I was going to say the same. I think it'll be a cagey one. I'll go 1-0. I think I'll go 1-0. Got anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
I'm looking forward to the Champions League being back. Like I said, I'm glad the international break is over and just kicking on. And obviously, we're cooking up a few ideas of some things to do going forward. Keep following all the socials, stay up to date with all the stuff we're doing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and just
Absolutely,
keep doing what we do.
Yeah, like Kieran said, got some exciting things coming. If you do like what you heard, drop us a like and subscribe so you can know when the content is coming out. If you disagree or disagree with anything that we've said on player ratings wise, let us know in the comments. That'll be interesting to hear your thoughts, guys. And we'll see you probably. You'll probably see our next video on Thursday, day after our Champions League game, which I hope we win. So
better mood anyway.
I hope so too. Thanks for listening, guys. See you in a bit.